Okay, let's do it. Okay.
Welcome to the battlefield, to the boardroom. You are here with Philip Folsom. I am Colonel Garth with CommandReady, and we are here today to talk to you about all things important to growth, development, doing awesome stuff, making yourself into the person, the business owner, the leader you want to be. And believe me, it's a process. And it is hard work. We all know this. We've seen the memes. You got to get out there. You got to grind. You got to put in the hours. You got to do all that stuff. But one thing you must do is build allies. One thing you must add is that team that's there to help you, to support you, either in the little things like a bookkeeper and someone to do your taxes, or on a much broader scale, someone who holds you accountable. So Philip, great to see you. You're coming off a week's recovery up on the Oregon coast and looking good, man. What's going on?
Well, actually, I was sharing before we hit record of how my diet fell off. You know, I was completely off the wagon on my food, and it really was because I was disconnected from my accountability allies.
Yeah.
And because I was on vacation and I was not working and I wasn't connected to all of those men who hold me accountable for my brand and my standards and all this kind of enforcement rails and bumpers that keep me functional. So, I'm experiencing the lack of allies and how important they are for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it then. 2 quick tips. What do you got?
Yeah. Well, hey, first one, our two organizations are actually having an alliance powwow meeting this Saturday on the beach. We do a Dawn Patrol beach workout with that forged CommandReady program, all the men from there. And then K4, which is the men's group I work with, we come together. And that is an example of probably the first piece, which is moving from competition, right, where we're a little bit resentful almost of other people's success, because it makes us look at our position as somehow not enough. And so we become resentful. Whereas allies, something that is collaborative and collective, instead of being threatened by another person, in this case, another man's success, it's a chance to have a healthy relationship with that, and it actually elevates. And so there's an incredibly important, just psychological, but practical shift that we make from competing against other individuals to having it be collaborative. And man, it leads to a tremendous amount of accountability. And that's scary for people who don't have a shared journey that they're on.
Yeah.
That's
and
my
actually, I'm gonna throw away my first tip and just go with that, but I'll say just a slight twist. In the past, we've talked about the difference between adolescent and adult behavior. Allies is some adult behavior stuff. Grow up. If you are still in this game and listening to this, and you're working at it so that you can self-aggrandize, or you can launch yourself to this, whatever thing you think you're doing, you need to grow up. We work in tribes, we work in groups. And Philip has said it before: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go in groups, right? Like there are a lot of adages and old quotes and all kinds of stories that go in that line. But I know many times in an adult role where you suddenly realize that either you're doing it or your team is doing it. And what they're trying to do is make sure that they get the credit or make sure that they get recognized. Sometimes in an adult world, you have to do the work and you have to share with your allies, and not for the credit, not for the recognition. And for, extroverted, outgoing people like me, that's tough. It's a tough thing to do, to allow yourself to do the work for the work's sake, for the team, and not get the credit. But when you can pull it off, the level of maturity and the level of satisfaction for me that comes out of that is so much greater. But it is truly about growing up and behaving like an adult. So that would be my number one, is to double down on what you said and just put it with a little punch, which is be a grown-up.
And this, when you talk about tribe, team, there's inherently a collective aspect to that where whoever scores the points, right on, celebrate this. The points have been scored, right? Even if you didn't score the points, the team is winning. And that is a big shift from that adolescent psychology, which is I must win, to the we must win. And that is the movement from that to the mature psychological place where we're successful. So how do we do that? This is my second one. This is going to sound like a review, a leadership platitude, but there are three foundations of alignment that we have to be able to ensure. And this is at any relationship, whether it be platonic, romantic, professional. You have to make sure that these three things are in place if you're going to have a functional alliance. And the first one is, why are you doing it? Why does this project exist? What is the importance of it? Are you aligned on your vision? Okay. Number two, are you aligned on your values, which is how the vision is implemented? And these are incredibly important. The values, positioning that we have as people is going to dictate the direction and the quality of our journey. And if we're off, our decision making will be divergent. It will not work unless you have some shared core values. And the last one is it reciprocal? Do all the team members win? And this is that shared mission where we get to share the points, share the elk that we bring down, or whatever that is. So mission, vision, values, these are the core principles of any form of partnership or alliance.
And then I will close out with my tip number 2, which is kind of a tip from a guy named von Moltke, who was a Prussian general. So we go back several hundred years. He was the first guy to make an actual military academy. I guess not the first guy, right? But the academies, the military schools that he built are the model for our current day, like Army War College, or, when we study maneuver warfare, we're really studying the Prussians. And they learned out of trial and error because, Napoleon rolled through them like a hot knife through butter. And because of that, they came back and said, we have to fight a different way. And they invented what ultimately Clausewitz turned into maneuver warfare. Okay, geeked out a little bit, but what did he say? He said he didn't want generals who had never lost. He wanted generals who had a winning average. So when you start looking at credit and you align your mission, vision, values, and when you start thinking about the big whys of things, understand that a good leader, someone who is leading you, is looking for the averages. They don't need you to successfully complete every project. We get it. You're not always going to, knock the ball out of the park. You're not always going to make that, super sale that closes things. We're looking for people who sometimes get it wrong and then come back from it. We're looking for people who sometimes get it right and we all profit from it, right? So when you're a leader, you're looking for averages. Don't try and find that one person who never failed. Because that person either is not trying to do difficult things or they're cheating. And when things go wrong, you don't know whether they have the resilience yet.
Or they're liars.
Yeah, they could be liars, right? You don't know if they've developed their resilience because they've never truly been tested. So you're looking for people who are in the game and are trying and experimenting. And remember that when you're in a leadership role, right? Don't just take the shiny bauble. Look at the whole package. And when you're looking at your allies, look at people who have been tested, coming through and doing the right thing. I mean, it all comes down to virtue. And so my tip number 2 is look for winning averages. Don't look for somebody who has the glossy, perfect record. And unfortunately, our resumes and our Facebook and our social media posts, try and pretend like we are all these perfect shining creatures, and we're not. If you just look at the wave tops, you're not getting a good understanding of the people you're aligning yourself to. So that's my second tip is find the winning averages. Those people are resilient, they're hardy, they can survive the ups and downs of life and business and all those things. And that's what you want to align yourself with. And that brings us to the end of the battlefield of the boardroom. Today, we're talking a little bit about allies. It's about aligning your mission, vision, values, as Philip says. And it's about understanding yourself, your own maturity, because if you don't get that, you're playing a child's game in a grown-up world, and you don't want to do that. All right. That's it for today. We'll talk to you later. Oh,
Hey, buddy.
and, while we're here, might as well make a plug, right? If you want to build allies, if you want accountability, if you want somebody who holds you to a standard, Philip has his K4 men's group. It's for men looking to align. Hundreds of men are now online and meeting in person. They get together, go to K4 men's group, right? There you go. But the idea is align yourself with people who can help hold you accountable for the things that you need. And by the way, like the wave top discussion, they're not all perfect. And they're there because they've recognized the power of aligning yourself with others. And then if you're ready for a real big challenge, go get 3 other people. So you need 4. Come check out the Forged in 84 program. It takes 12 weeks. It's 224 pages of hard daily thought, but you will walk out with better leadership skills. You will walk out with better habit development. You will walk out with a clearer understanding of what you're attempting to achieve. It takes 12 weeks to get through it. We got programs running all the time. It starts any given Monday. Bring 4 people because one person is in charge of the fire team. The other 3 people are in it to win it. They hold each other accountable. And these accountability groups are accelerating careers. You set a goal at the beginning of your 12 weeks of, new knowledge, new promotions, new sales, whatever. That accountability group, you're going to hit it. So when you're ready, check out Forged in 84.
And hey, this is specifically for the men who are watching. If it's not Forged or K4, get yourself in some sort of group. Get yourself in the herd, in the pack, get your allies, find it in a community that works for you. It's incredibly important. Give yourself this gift because you deserve it and your kingdom demands it.
Yeah.
So,
and just to be clear too, so K4 is a men's group. Forged is for anybody who wants to level up their life habits. Men, women, come join us. The teams we have now are all over the place in terms of skill and age and whatever. What we're finding is that people step up to the plate to mentor and help each other and hold each other accountable. And that's how we grow. That's it.